Hello, everyone, and welcome to this interview. And today we've got a very special guest, especially to me and my family. We've been, in contact for quite a while now, and it just seemed like this interview was right to do. So, can I please introduce you to Lady Billet? How are you? How's everything?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm fine.
Like,
Just here on my own at the moment. I've got my two doggies, but one of them's disappeared, so I can't show you yet.
I love my dogs. They're all here just sleeping now. I
I
think.
do.
Yeah,
They're so loving and so constant.
yeah, exactly.
During lockdown, oh, I don't know what I would have done. I just reject that call from me. I wouldn't have known what to do. It
Yeah,
was so much good company, and everything else what was changing around us, they never changed.
yeah.
They were still the same, they still were happy, they didn't know anything what was going on.
Yeah, and
And
they're so loyal as well. They're like your best friend.
really lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I think everybody should have a pet.
yeah, I think as well. It's such good company. And especially through like, recent times, it's been hard on all of us. And I think just have that bit of company, it really does help. And it's just so lovely to have a dog. I have three. They can be a bit of a handful at times, but it's worth it.
Yeah, well, chihuahuas are like
Yeah, they are like that.
They think they're
Um,
really big dogs.
yeah, I know that they're like such a big character and such a small little thing, and it's so adorable.
Oh,
And
I think even if you don't have a pet, it's a good idea to borrow one.
yeah,
Now,
yeah, it can be good for the mind as well.
I think it's really good also to be responsible for something that's relying on you,
Yeah,
so that you don't get hard-hearted about things, because it's very, very easy to be cynical
yeah,
and very selfish and not be kind and giving.
yeah.
And I think pets learn us how to be kind and giving.
Exactly, and it makes you like, I don't know, it might sound a bit weird, but it teaches you like the fundamentals of life and how to treat another like living being, and
Exactly, yeah. I
especially
think anybody who's not kind to animals, um, they're not going to do very well in life.
yeah, and especially with dogs as well because they're so loyal to you and they'll love you
Yeah,
like
I don't
child.
understand animal cruelty at all.
Neither.
I really don't know. I don't know how anybody can be cruel to animals. It's just beyond my comprehension.
Yeah, but unfortunately there are just some people like that, so cruel. And
Well, yeah, obviously. Otherwise, all these pets, like my two, are rescue dogs.
oh wow, so
In fact, I've never had a pup. They've always been rescue dogs,
if you
because
tell
they're
yeah,
already here and they're
yeah,
already in need
yeah,
of love and affection. And puppies, like babies, they will fit into a family and they don't know anything about suffering. But obviously, older dogs do. They do
exactly,
know that they've suffered and they do know the difference.
yeah,
So I always think
always
it's good to give them a good chance. A
exactly, yeah.
second chance.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have to recognize that dogs should all be treated the same with love and care, no matter how old they are. Obviously, my family had a litter of pups at the
Yes,
beginning.
I know. I saw
Yeah,
them.
and yeah, it was a bit of a handful, but deciding the right owner. So
Through it.
yeah, exactly, we got through it. But deciding the right owner to give them to, it's just
I
so
know.
draining because you can never really trust someone because they might have like shell, they might like look like caring and loving, but you never
Exactly.
really. It's just so hard to separate with them as well.
Well, I'm so glad I've never had any puppies, because I
Yeah,
couldn't give them away. I'd finish up, I'd have probably 300 dogs. I'd be one of
but
those dog ladies.
yeah, but it was a great experience as well, and taking care of those young pups. And so, where did your passion, rescuing dogs and animal welfare start from?
Well, I don't know really. When I was small, one of our neighbours had a dog,
Oh,
and he didn't really want it. And this dog, unfortunately, he got run over and he broke his leg.
oh no.
And he came to our house. He was laid in one of the sheds in the back garden. And my mum knew who the dog belonged to. So she went to him and said, you know, your dog is in one of our sheds. And he said, well, I don't want him back. In fact, if he comes back, I will kill him.
Wow.
So we said, oh, okay, we didn't have a dog at the time. So we said, well, you know, we're not going to let him come back, obviously. So we looked after him. He was our family pet for a long time, and he had a lot of working sheepdog in him.
Mm,
So he was so clever as well. He
yeah,
was really clever. You only have to show him one thing, and he knew it. He knew it. You know, you just went like, give us a paw.
yeah.
You know, and he count, and it was amazing dog. And I could never understand what the problem with him was, with
Mm,
the original owner. And I think from then, you know, I decided you've just got to look after them. You can't leave them. You can't leave them with people that you
that's what
don't.
you need. Yeah, you need a bit of kindness, and you need to
And
show.
I wish instead of people torturing animals like they do,
Mm,
and then finish up, there's no animal to be saved, they would give them up, like this owner gave us his dog. It's simple.
you need
There's
that
no
kindness.
there's no need to torture animals and kill them when there's shelters that will take them and reown them.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
And I think you know, lockdowns brought out a lot of that. Well, it did.
Yeah,
People can't really handle, you know, taking care of, you know, a living creature. And I think, you know, in a way, it kind of really like singled out the good and bad in people when it came to, you know,
yeah.
taking care of them. And that's
I
what we
mean,
need.
they do take a lot of time and they do take a lot of patience. And obviously, when people were in lockdown and they were lonely, they didn't feel like they could venture very far. They decided to get these dogs, and I'm sure a lot of them finished up in sheltered
Yeah, exactly.
dogs' homes to be reowned. Um, People think it's easy to take on an animal, but it's not, especially a puppy. Puppies usually wreck your house. You usually chew everything first. And you know, and they need toilet training and things. And I think people just think they're going to be a lovely ball of fluff that they just have to take for a walk and give them something to eat. And that's the end of the care. But it's not. That is not the end of the care.
Yeah, and if you are going to take care of a dog, you do need that kindness. Well, if you're going to take care of it correctly, you need to be a generally kind,
You do
loving.
need to be kind. You do need to know what you're in for as well, because they don't, you know, they don't just live for 2 or 3 years. A lot of them go on to live be 14, 15 years old if they're well looked after and they have no underlying issues.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, speaking on kindness, you are, and I mean this, you know, you are probably one of the kindest people, you know, that I've, you know, been connected with. You know, obviously, you've spoken of
It's nice for you to
my
say so.
family. No, I'm being genuinely serious because you're so genuine in the way that, you know, you speak, and you're so honest at things. And, you know, it really, it does like give me a bit of hope for the world that there are people out there like
Yeah,
you. And that's exactly what we need. And
we have to get back. And I think the media manipulates a lot of the issues that are going on
yeah,
in the
exactly.
world. Deciding from, for an example, from deciding from one day to the next, who are they going to target and who are going to be the people they adore.
Yeah, and it is an issue because there's
And then that influence is sent out to the general public, and their decision on whether they decide somebody's a good person or a bad person is it's influencing the general public.
it
And
is.
then to finish up, there's a hatred going round for people that they've never met, they know hardly anything about, apart from what they have written, in the papers about them.
Yeah,
So you're either on a pedestal, or you're on Skid Row, basically, with the press.
it's unfortunate because the media, they have a way of like twisting things like to promote it in sort of way. Like they take a bad issue and they want to make it sound as interesting as possible to the public, just for views and viewership and
Well, you see, I always think good news doesn't carry well with the press. Bad news will sell newspapers over and over again.
yeah, exactly.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, because I don't know, it's like for like people, when you see these like flashy news reports, or you see this one news and it carries out for a couple of days, then all of a sudden it just stops. It's like it's old news, we don't focus on that anymore. And I think the media's really, it's really twisted things like to focus.
It really gets to the point where it's monotonous, and it just goes round in a big circle because they know no more news. It's just the same thing regurgitated over and over again. I mean, Prince Harry and his wife, and she's not called Meghan Markle.
Mm.
She's Duchess, but the press will insist on calling her Meghan Markle.
Yeah,
and she's not.
it's just, I think,
And even though they've never lived in this country for 3 or 4 years now, they're never out the news.
yeah,
They're never out the news, and they've never even spoken about anything.
yeah,
And this is one of the things, if they're regurgitating things, and it's all speculation and it's all innuendo. Nobody knows what's been said in the royal family to
yeah.
them, or them to the royal family.
Mm.
Nobody knows anything. It's all speculation.
It is, and
But
because
it's all hatred. And then they wonder why the family moved. Can you imagine what it would have been like if they'd stayed?
you can't even, it's like they get so pounded and they get so much hatred.
And you can't stand up for them,
Yeah,
because then you get
exactly.
you get a load of abuse,
Yeah.
because you're not going with what the press are saying. You're not going. If it's in the press, it's true. It's
Yeah.
got to be true. They can't make anything up. It has to be true. It's
Yeah.
so annoying. It really is. It's so annoying.
Like it's been clouded with this like lies and manipulation.
When Harry was in the army, sorry, I interrupted there, but when Harry was in the army, he was the darling of the country.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Went for the most love.
Somebody who's of colour and is not American, is American and a divorcee. It's all red. It's all alarm bells for whatever reason. What reason? They haven't done anything wrong to me.
Yeah.
They've never took any money from me.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're living in another country. Why does that affect me? It doesn't affect me.
Yeah, I know.
People should think there's two sides to everything.
There is, yeah, always. And it's imperfect, like the world that we live in, how easy it is to change someone's mind just because of a rumor or something that isn't true. And
the other thing, Nick, is instead of focusing on 2 people or a couple of people in the news, why can't they just forget about that they're going to live that life, whatever is in the papers, it will not hurt them. Why can't they focus on things that are really, really important, like pollution and the way the world's going is just clambering onto an end, and everybody's sitting down and doing little meal piece, just a little bit here and a little bit there, and it's not enough. We need to do more. We need to go back to basics to save this planet, and people aren't willing to do that.
These
Because
problems,
they're thinking it's not going to end in their lifetime, so why should they worry about it?
yeah, exactly. The world's like,
Instead of paying all those billions of pounds going to Mars to find out whether we could sustain life there, or if there has been life on that planet,
yeah,
why can't we try and sustain the life on this planet?
oh,
I'm sure all the money that they've wasted going to Mars, bringing a bit of dust back,
yeah,
all that money could have been spent on cleaning the earth up.
yeah, and all the money, the government lockdown parties as well. But yeah, the world's like, it's full of problems
It
that like,
doesn't matter what's happening on another planet. We haven't got a plan B. This is it.
yeah,
Unless we're all going to live in spaceships and orbit the Earth for millions of years.
yeah. The world's
So
like,
I think it's stupid. It's stupid to go investigating other planets. We're not even at that stage where this planet would be in danger.
mm,
So it's no point skipping from A to B. We're not even out of A. We're still here. We've still got a chance for a lot longer on this planet.
yeah, we're still in that position where like we can change what we've already done, and it's not.
Now we can reverse it. It is
But
reversible.
if
But
we keep on
everybody's
going
got
like
to want
this,
to reverse it.
yeah, exactly. We have to all be in it together instead of, always fighting each other about it. Because like
I know.
the world's full of problems, and like most of them aren't even getting recognition. So I'd like to ask you, what would you think like the biggest problem going on right now that isn't getting enough recognition? Like, what is it, in your opinion?
Now then, let me think. There's quite a lot.
Many.
It's a very wide question, is that?
Yeah, yeah,
I think probably children that are in danger.
yeah.
Every week you hear about a child that's been abused,
Mm,
that maybe could have been saved. I don't think there's enough money put in. I don't think there's enough organisations with the staff that need to be placed to stop and prevent a lot of these tragedies.
yeah. Like the government, like it's not even just like worldwide, there isn't enough effort, I think, put into, investing into children and their education and the way they're brought up, bringing them like giving them the most safest and happiest childhood that they could possibly have. And child endangerment's a massive thing that it's affected the
It
planet
is.
for hundreds of years.
It's awful to see on the news, these little tiny helpless children, and they've been tortured, and they've been beaten to death, and you think, why could nobody save them? And they'll tell you themselves. Social services will tell you they're overworked. They've got such a workload. I can remember a social worker telling me there was a couple who'd fostered twins. They'd been taken from their young parents, and they weren't capable of caring for them properly. And when they got to about 18 months, the parents went to court. They wanted them back, basically.
Yeah,
And for some unknown reason, the courts decided they could have them back. And what happened? They murdered them both.
Yeah.
And the foster parents were devastated.
I
So
don't.
they do make mistakes. They don't take them off the right ones. And then and probably in a few cases, they take them off the wrong ones.
Yeah. And I've heard this from like a few people, but the term like father or mother or parent or carer, I don't think that has to be biologically. I think it's
No,
whoever is willing to fulfill that role
I
deserves
do not
to have
believe.
that role.
I do not believe that blood is thicker than water.
Exactly.
I have never believed that.
Yeah.
I have
Think.
I have a really close friend, and she's like my sister. I've never had a sister. My sister died when she was a baby, but my friend I've known from being 5 years old, and she's like my sister. She's my family.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, most people, when they go through like struggles in life, they maybe when they find out, they have been adopted or have long lost siblings or parents, I
Yeah,
don't think at that point they recognize, their parents are the ones that have raised them, that have loved
yeah,
them, cared for them,
right, yeah.
that show any affection.
I know somebody who is actually adopted, and he does know where his biological mother is. But as he said to me, he was in a Catholic orphanage run by nuns, and his adoptive parents came to see him and brought him toys. He remembers it,
Yeah,
and he'd be about 2 year old. And then one day they said, "You're going home today, and this is your new mummy and daddy." And he went home, and he said he was the only one as well. They never adopted anymore. And he said, "I always respect and love them for that they took me out of that situation. They chose to take me out of that situation and love me and bring me up as their son. Because if I'd have still been in the care system, I'd have been out on my ear at 17. I would have been able to tend to myself. So although he knows where his biological mother is, out of love and respect for his adoptive parents, he would never go, because he said they wanted me when she didn't for whatever reason.
yeah.
And I suppose a lot of adopted people might feel like that.
And you have to really appreciate the people that, give you a foundation in life and that like teach you the basics, and it sort of like fountains up and it grows into something bigger. And it's amazing to see, there are caring and loving people that are willing
Yeah,
to take a
exactly.
child.
We need more of them. I think we're getting away from being kind. I don't think people are kind, not even to each other in families. I don't think they're as kind as they were years and years ago. I think we're getting hardened.
We are.
And I don't know what it is that's hardening us, whether it's because children don't play out in groups like they used to do. A lot of activities are like home-based now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know whether that's tearing us away from the rest of society so that we're more inward thinking and we're not more selfish and we just think about us, and we find it hard to start sharing and caring for each other. But kindness goes a long way. Just one little act of kindness from 5 million people, we could do all sorts.
Yeah, and I think like the world we live in today, a lot of things have become so much more easier. Like, you might call your friends, or now you can just text them. You
Yeah,
can
exactly.
go out.
Online shopping instead of going to the local shop and talking to your
Exactly.
local.
And I think
But I don't
people,
do that. They all know me. Yeah, I always go
but
local shopping.
I think people have looked at kindness like I know people say kindness is an easy thing to do, and
But for some
but
people, it isn't.
exactly, and I think people look at it as it's easier to be selfish. It's easier to look out for yourself. So why should I bother? Or maybe it kind of like it rippled, and if someone's been treated with disrespect, they think, why should I treat someone else with kindness if it's not happened to me? And it sort of
Yeah.
builds up and on and on and on. And I don't think it's got better with, social media. Obviously,
Oh,
yeah, but obviously you get, the activists such as fighting for causes, and you find some really amazing people online, but it's almost like a split face. There's two sides to it,
yeah.
and the other
You know something, when I think I can't solve all these problems, we can't. Our shoulders not big enough to carry everything. And I think, well, if I can just do a little bit of something is better than nothing. And I look at Bill Gates and I think, if Bill Gates can't solve the world's problems with all the money he has,
yeah,
it's sort of like, it gives me a sense of, well, I'm doing okay in my own way.
exactly.
Because if Bill Gates can't solve it, there's the rest of us can't.
I think you have to put yourself first, like your mental being first. You have to be happy, and I think you put that before everything else. I think your mental state's the most important thing, and you know it's stressful times, and obviously I know that you love your art, and like me when I was younger, I used to love art, and I still do today.
Yeah.
But there
I
were
just
different
love
ways.
going around galleries and seeing.
Exactly.
I like sculpture as well. I like paintings. I like sculptures,
Yeah.
and I like a few of the modern pieces, which I was surprised that I really did like. Because I normally only like traditional paintings.
Because art's like it's growing so quickly. There are new
Yes, and
styles.
there's so many different medias in it as well. I've seen paintings where they're 3D.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think like you would get that probably like 10 years ago. So it just shows how quickly it's just growing and developing. And
Uh, I
but
don't
art's an amazing.
understand this art that you can buy online.
Yeah,
You have it on your screen and it's
yeah.
costing God knows how
I,
much.
I yeah,
I
I
don't
think
understand that concept.
that went on in like lockdown, and then it kind of like grew, but I don't really understand it either. But I think if there is a language that would connect everyone together, it would be art, because there I
And
think,
music. Don't forget
and
music.
music as well. But I think behind every art piece you have a message, and I think it's clear to everyone what that message is.
Yeah,
It doesn't necessarily have to be the same one. It's how you look at it, and how you use your mind, and how it sparks creativity in your head, and it's just so healthy as well, and it really does get you thinking as well.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll just
I
like
think
to go on, it's fine.
what I was going to say is, I think on a dull day, if you just go into a gallery and you see all these amazing pictures coming out at you, you can't help but be lifted. I look at, I don't just stand away from the pictures. I go right up and I have a look at how the painting was done, how the brush strokes was done. And it's just amazing because some of these paintings, they look like photos.
Story.
And I wonder how did how did they do it? They had candlelight,
Yeah,
they had natural daylight, and I think
every
there's not many,
artist.
I don't think there's many good artists today
Hmm.
that can compete with the old masters.
I think it's because because of what's coming up now, we appreciate the past more. And I think
Mm.
in the future, in like 100 years, they're going to be looking at art today, and they're going to be doing the exact same thing. But you appreciate what you can't really get as easy now. And I think that's why we appreciate, these artists, of the landscapes and of the portraits, because you don't really get that now. You get
No,
sort of these
no.
creative new, obviously it is good, to get modern art, and it is nice.
Well, I have a couple of pieces of modern art. I have a Mackenzie Thorpe, which is like the balloon people. It's a big heart, red heart, and there's two little balloon people sat on the top, and underneath it says "in love." And it was the first really modern piece that I saw that I really liked, and I didn't know why I liked it, but I bought it. So I've got that, and I've got a Dougie Hyde one, which is a pug with a scarf around his neck, and they're like cartoon sort of paintings, but you can't tell how they've been done. They look a bit airsprayed, but you can't, even when you get up to them, you can't really tell what the texture is or how it was created. It's a bit of a secret.
Every art piece, it has a meaning, and it has like a message, and it may be unique to like the person that looks at the art piece. I know that is with me, because you get like different emotions by looking at the same thing if you're a different person, because it morphs into your personality, and you think a bit what you will. And I just want to ask you, if is there a quote or like an ideology that you'd say you try to live by every day?
Well, you've obviously read the one I have on
Yeah, yeah,
mine, but the one that I live by is a Shakespearean quote, which is the rod that smiles steals something from the thief,
yeah,
which I think is absolutely brilliant,
yeah.
because that means whatever's thrown at you, as long as you can smile through it, you've basically got, you've got over that.
You get stronger.
Yeah, stronger. Yeah.
And, and something,
Because people might want to hurt you, but if you can smile through it,
yeah,
you've hurt them.
because you show that you aren't affected.
You've hurt them. Exactly. They haven't got the way they wanted it.
And
I like that quote from Shakespeare. I know whether he's thought of that
yeah,
because of something that's happened to him, we will never know. But it seems to fit something
it does.
as why he would come out with that
Exactly.
quote.
And I think, we can't really show the people trying to make us feel down, or trying to rob us of our
Exactly.
freedom and our choice. We can't show them that we're being affected. And I think
No.
it's not only what we show, it's what we believe. And I think we have to believe, and we have to live by the ideology that the only person that can hurt me is me, and I won't let
Exactly.
what anyone else.
I think it's all within ourselves to allow or disallow people to affect our lives and what we do.
Yeah. And
You can choose. You can choose to do something, or you can choose to do nothing.
you have a choice, and
You do
I
have
think,
a choice, and happiness and sadness is all a state of mind.
yeah, it is. And you have a choice to
For
wake
instance,
up.
I don't mind spiders. I don't mind mice,
Yeah,
lizards, frogs, anything like that I can handle. But that might be somebody else's nightmare. So it's all how your brain,
it is. It's like
how
you
your
have
brain.
I think I said this in one of my speeches like a couple of years ago when I was younger. It's like you have a choice to wake up to feel happy or sad. it other people do affect you, but you ultimately have the choice to change that. Are you gonna let it affect you, or are you gonna grow more
Exactly.
and grow stronger?
Somebody's hate does not hurt you.
Exactly.
That is their hate. That is for them to deal with.
Mm.
Hating somebody or something will never hurt, never physically or
Oh
mentally
yeah, yeah.
hurt somebody. I don't go for fiction. I like autobiographies.
Mm.
And at the moment, I'm reading David Attenborough's Life on Earth.
Wow.
Life, not Life on Earth, Life on Air, which documents how we got into the BBC and how we finished up, as we all know, one of the the main leader of the
Yeah.
natural world. Yeah,
How are you liking the book? Is it a good book?
it's very interesting. Yeah, it is very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, initially, it was on the radio.
Oh really?
Because he said he had a face for radio, not for TV. And it's really interesting how they had all this old equipment, not like they have now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
With the massive reels and to take them into the jungle and, keep them dry and things like. It's amazing how they got these documentaries for us in the black and white TV
Yeah.
in the 60s. And it seems like he's just been there forever.
Yeah.
He's just been here forever. I remember watching him when I was tiny.
He's
The
a
only thing he does regret, and he says so in the book, is taking species from their habitat and bringing them back.
yeah. I
In them,
suppose.
they didn't think like they do now. But to
Yeah.
take an animal out of its natural habitat, bring it back and put it in a zoo, or just look at it, just observe it. They didn't think it was wrong then, but he realises now it was.
I don't think that zoos are going to be a thing in the future because I think animals.
We can have virtual zoos anyway.
Exactly. I think animals are getting too endangered and their numbers are getting scarce, and I think it's just too much effort and it's too dangerous to be locking
And I
them up.
think we should stop people having exotic pets.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted. Every time I log on, there's somebody who's got a little monkey dressed with nappies on and clothes, and I'm thinking, no way, no way. It's just, I mean, to me, that's abuse. They're not human. They're cute, yes, but like a chimp. I've seen chimps dressed like humans and being made to perform like a human. When that chimp gets to about 10, that's going to rip that person's face off
Exactly. So
because it's not got a human temperament.
there are certain animals that are they're they're designed to be, caring and loving and then a companion to humans, just like certain breeds of dogs, cats. But when you go to like the more exotic creatures who are endangered, like lions, chimpanzees, big cats, and it's just I don't see the necessity in it. Like
There
when
is
you
no,
left exactly,
it's just because people think it's there. I'm a human. I can control it. I can control anything on the earth.
it's dangerous when people think like that because I don't think whenever someone's been in power and thinks that they deserve it all and whatever they say they can do, it's never ended up well.
Well, it's a challenge, isn't it? It's a challenge. Let me see if I can actually have a pet lion without it eating me.
And
And it's a challenge. It's an ego thing. It's not. It's not to preserve that animal.
it's foolish.
You get people and they argue about Well, we have to have them in captivity because there isn't a lot left in the wild. Well, why don't they breed them and let them go in the wild?
Exactly. And it's been amazing to speak to you today. You're such an intelligent person, and to get your ideas on certain subjects that are going on in the world. Obviously, like, it's just been great to have a general chat. And as I said, it is friendly, and I've really hoped you enjoyed being here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Amazing.